Hey, this is Dan from Fisher Jeep Adventures, and today I got something easy and special. So on our Tacoma, I decided to get a DiamondBack bed truck cover, and in the box comes some clamps, the struts to hold the leaves up, and pretty good instructions. So there are 3 pieces to this cover. There is the center section, there is a rear section, and then there is the front section. This thing is made out of aluminum. I decided to get the textured finish because that's what I wanted. I didn't want to have the just the smooth finish, and I didn't want like the diamond plate, so I just got the textured. So you can see it's pretty nice there. And then there's a lock on the front and a lock on the back that goes underneath the bed rail. So we're gonna do this quick install real fast. If this is something you're interested in, please stick around for the video. All right, so the first thing we gotta do is put the back section on. Now there are 2 different length pins. There's a short pin, and then there's a long pin. And what they asked to do is they asked to put this center section a little back toward the tailgate, and then slide the back cover on first. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, so you see that slid in real easily. And then now we'll do the front section. And once we do the front section, we'll center it up on the truck bed, front to back. And then we'll clamp it down. So the clamps go under here in the center section, and that's really what holds everything down tight. And then the 2 locking mechanisms at the front of the back of the cover and the front of the cover are what hold it down to the bed. So same process. The long pin goes in first, and then the short pin. All right, so the way they want you to do it is they want this to come all the way up here to the edge of the cab. And this cover is made for the model year Tacoma 95 to 2004. And so we're gonna make that adjustment real fast and go from there. All right, so we got it squared up. And it's got weather seal all around it. So the next step for us is we'll drop down the tailgate and install the 4 brackets, 2 on each side. Now inside of the cavity, and I'll take you with me when I go in there, it's just a short space, but it fits just like all the other truck cab clamps. And you just want to get them as far apart as you can to put as much force right there. All right, so you can see this is the clamping surface I was talking about, and that's where the clamps will go. Now they take a 9/16 socket wrench. All right, we're just gonna do the same thing on the other side. All right, easy enough. So the next step is these lock brackets are in this is the storage position. So we need to let one of those bolts down so that this piece rotates down. So We'll do that real fast, and it's a 7/16 nut. So we'll just rotate those down, and that gets the lock in position to be able to go underneath the rails. All right, and just hold this nut for each, so there are 4 of these, one on each side of each cover, and then just hold these to the side because you're going to reinstall them once we get the lock mechanism straight. So I'm going to take the other 3 off. Now that we got that done, before we set that the locking mechanisms, I'm going to put the struts on. So they go on 2 places. There's a ball there and a ball there, and the shock mounts up. So it just clicks in there. And there. We'll get the shock on the other side, and that's just going to help us kind of get all of the, do all the rest of the work without having to just kind of hold the cover up. So one shock is not enough to hold it by itself. That's better. So the front section has a little bit different kind of setup because there's like a hold, and there's some safety straps. So we'll get all that out so you can see. So there's a safety strap right here, and it just goes around. It just goes around like that, and that's to keep the cover from getting blown open. Now the other side has a different kind of mechanism, and I'll show you how that kind of goes together. Now the difference is this side has an extra stud, and that's to hold this locking bar. And so basically it just goes down and locks over the end of that. We'll put our strut on so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, let me get some light. See the nut that I'm talking about, and you see the cable. So we just have this nut that holds this bar in place. So that bar is just a safety catch in case the truck bed cover comes down. And you see how it catches it up like that? So we'll lift it up and see how it catches it. And then you basically just push down a little bit and then push it up, and then it'll allow it to raise all the way up. Again, just some thoughtful things from DiamondBack, just in case that cover pops up for whatever reason, you forget to latch it down and it comes up while you're driving. It's all going to get secured and not pop off or fly off. All right, this next step is probably the harder of everything because I think it takes some time to kind of get everything set straight so the compression is right on the gasket material so that the cover doesn't leak. So what we got to do is we have to open it up, and so with the cover open, it just clicks like that. And what that allows us to do is these brackets drop down so that we can set them right. So what we're going to do is we're going to put those 2 bolts that we took out earlier out and put them back in so that the bracket is hanging vertically like that. And then we'll kind of set the depth, and these can move this way and then they can move this way. So we'll go ahead and get those kind of preliminarily set up, and then we'll kind of figure out how to set the compression right. And so these have got just a square shoulder that fits into this groove, so that all you got to do is just tighten that nut. And again, it's a 7/16. Now on the Toyota bed, you can see how there's like this bump out, and we want the thing to catch about here. So we're going to move this all the way to the back. So that should cover that space. All right, and we're just gonna set it so it's down all the way initially, and we'll grab the other side. So the next step is to get these rods set right. So we have to get this down so that there's not tension, and then this one needs to rotate up. So there are some set screws right here. They have an included Allen key. And that's also going to allow us to set the throw on it. And so just by loosening it, you can see we can rotate it up. And then we want it to come out about to right there. And so we just tighten that back up. All right, the other side is the same way. Just loosen the Allen key screw. Rotate it up. Let it come out about there. Tighten it back down. And the reason for the bend going up toward the cover is so that the locking mechanism doesn't bind. And so when it rotates, it's in its most level plane. And so what we need to do now is shut the cover. And by doing that, you have to take it to close the cover. You gotta twist the lock open like that. And so that pulls those in. And so we'll see how good we did. And just to close it. You gotta push down to close it. All right, so now we're gonna kind of check and see how we did. You can see how the bar goes beyond the edge of the bed, and it's nice and tight. Check the other side. Same thing. So we are good to go there. So I think we're going to tighten those down. Now DiamondBack also is really thoughtful in that they give you some protection pieces. Let's see. And these just go underneath the bed rail where the bar is going to go. And that way it's not ruining that rubber, and there's something nice to slide on. So it just got some VHB tape, and so we'll take those off and put those up, and then we'll show you what the final product is. Oh, I got to do the hinges on the front side too, but we'll show you what it all looks like. And that's basically it. So we got everything set, and let me show you how how easy it works. So we're just going to twist. You can see those black pieces, and that's where the rubber part of that rests on, so that it doesn't tear that boot up, so it's nice and smooth. So all we do is just put some pressure on it, twist it, and then shut it, and then it locks in place. Now DiamondBack truck covers suggest that once you get everything tight, you let it sit for 24 hours or more without moving it. That way the gaskets set and compress right, so that when you put everything down, it's easier to kind of compress. They said it'll get easier over time, but that's just to ensure that the weather seal is good. So looking at it, man, I really like the way that looks. I've never had a DiamondBack truck cover. They can hold like 500 pounds, so you can stand on it, jump on it, strap stuff down to it. There's tons of accessories for them. And I'm really impressed. The fit and finish is good. The construction is great. The instructions were easy. So I'm super happy with how everything turned out. And so simple install, just all the things that you need, all the tools you need come with it. So the instructions are good, and it's really a super simple way of doing things. So hope you guys liked the video. We're going to continue to work on the Tacoma. I've kind of been diverted a little bit as we've been doing some stuff on the van. So we got a lot of stuff coming ahead for the Tacoma. So if you lasted this long, give yourself a giant thumbs up. If you liked what I did, give me a thumbs up. Think about subscribing to the channel, and we'll talk to you later. This is Dan from Fisher Jeep Adventures. See you next time.